What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by at Shooting the BC. Let's go ahead and talk about what is arguably the best action on the market for shooting PRS competitions, the Lone Peak Fuzion. So here we have the Lone Peak Fuzion. This is, if you're not aware, this is their tactical action. It's heavy duty and it's built for PRS competitions, long range shooting, that kind of thing. So we're going to go over some of the features and overall thoughts about it. So this is their Fuzion model, and what it has is it's a Remington 700 clone. Okay, one thing you'll notice is this is like faceted. It's not completely round. So with modern chassis and a lot of stocks, you have like a V-block bedding or something like that. This is going to interface with that really well. You can kind of see right there a little bit where my chassis has been riding on it. And it's going to take any Remington 700 chassis, stock, bottom metal, triggers. It is pinned. It's not a trigger hanger, so it's simple and it works. It's a 2-lug action design, and the bolt, I mean, it's pretty standard Remington clone. It's got the nose there. It does have the Seiko style extractor, and what that's going to do is it's going to give you a better extraction than like a Remington 700. It's pretty standard in the industry now. Single plunger, spiral fluted bolt, and a removable bolt handle. This one I've got tightened on there pretty tight, so I can't actually remove it now, which I'm okay with that because it was coming loose. I cranked it down because at one match it was kind of coming loose, and it doesn't bother me that it doesn't come off now. But it is removable. They have some smaller ones, smaller bolt handles that you can replace this with. The one thing that some people might not like is it is not toolless takedown. It's not a bayonet style. You can twist it, and I mean, just showing how smooth this is, if I rotate that to where it would be cocked, I mean, I can twist it by hand, which I've never been able to do with like a Remington 700 or other actions. The bolt is out of chromoly, and it's, I believe, nitrite. It is starting to, a little bit of wear on there, you can see. I've got about 800 rounds and probably another 1,000 dry fires on it. And it's just kind of starting to wear. Not bad. If you don't know about nitride finishing, the surface hardening that it gives, even if the black is removed, you still get that lubricity, the slickness, if you will, and the hardness. So that's pretty normal. That's going to happen with anything, that tight tolerances. Now the bolt, if you don't know about this action, this is, in the opinion of many, the top of the line, highest quality action out there. There's a couple brands, and at that point you're just kind of Ford versus Chevy. But I mean, this thing is so smooth, it is ridiculous. And when you have it all built up in a gun, I mean, it's the smoothest gun, smoothest action I've ever used, ever owned, or ever felt. It is just, I mean, perfect. It's got obviously just the side bolt release, as you would expect on any action these days. I think Remington's pretty much the only one still doing a not side bolt release. And a couple of things with it. Obviously the recoil lug up here is integral, as well as the rail. And this is a 20 MOA rail built in. It's what you would expect out of the top of the line PRS action. The action is cut for both AICS and AIAW magazines. A lot of the guys around here that I know, so I'm local to this company. This is Lone Peak Arms. They're out of northern Utah. They're only about 8 or 9 miles away from where I live. We've got a lot of high-level competitors in this area, and a lot of them almost all of them now are running these Fuzion Actions. They're bulletproof. One of the things that I love about it is it just works, right? I've had zero fiddling, zero tinkering, nothing. It goes together easy. It doesn't have anything crazy, and it just works. I haven't had to adjust magazine catches. I haven't had to adjust inlets, anything like that. It works, and it's super high quality. Now, in part 2, I'm going to do another video, and we're going to compare a couple of the different actions. But for this one, the Fuzion full rail is kind of what they call it. I mean, it's beefy. All right. Okay. So if I put this action on the scale, 35.3 ounces. That's without the trigger. The trigger's about 1.8 ounces, I believe. It's less than 2. But 35 ounces. So it is heavy, okay? Why would you want that? Well, for PRS, you're going for stability. And a heavier action, heavier rifle brings stability. It reduces recoil, increases rigidity. Obviously, the more material that's in this action. Now, it depends on where that material is placed. But in general, more material is going to be more rigidity, which is going to maximize the accuracy, which is why the bench rest guys, they won't have any cutout for a magazine or bottom metal or anything like that. The firing pin, I believe, is the smaller. I think they say it's like a .06 or something like that. You can get all these specs. I'll try to link, see if I can get like a link tree so you can go over and look at all the specs and everything. But the action itself is out of stainless steel. Their stainless steel actions come nitride finish, at least the full rail models. Stainless steel. The bolt is chromoly. One of the benefits of these high-end actions, and a lot of these budget actions that are coming out, you guys have seen. I mean, I've done the Solus, I've done the coup de grace, however you want to pronounce it. Apparently, I've been doing that wrong, but they pretty much all the actions coming out now are holding tolerances so that you can do pre-fits, and Lone Peak's been doing that long before it was the cool thing to do. So interesting thing about it is, I believe the tenon, the head spacing for Lone Peak is identical, or at least close enough to the Impact, which is the other. Arguably, Impact and Lone Peak are the two top end ones. I prefer Lone Peak. I think they're just an excellent quality action, and like I said, they are local to me, so that has some sway too, because obviously like most people, I like to support the local guys. But you can get pre-fits for them. Every major pre-fit barrel manufacturer does them. Probably your gunsmith, if they're doing precision rifle PRS type gunsmithing, they're probably going to be able to offer you like a pre-fit. Now, I use primarily Priest Precision here in northern Utah, and he can spin you up a barrel without having your action. They're hold to that tight of tolerances. Now, the overall fit and finish of this action is what you would expect from like top level stuff, right? Everything is really well machined. It's just perfection, okay? It's wire EDM cut for the raceways. Guys, like, if you haven't felt one of these, it's just next level. I've got some nice actions, but this is just, I don't know what you could do to make this better. Some people would argue, and I'll talk about this a little bit, some people would argue that you have to have a bayonet style bolt. And I mean, I have them. I take apart my American Rifle Company coup de grace. I've taken it apart like 20 times, but because I have to. Like, I had to change the extractor on it. They changed the extractor geometry and some internal parts in the bolt. It's a interchangeable bolt head on that one. This is not. So I've taken that apart a ton, but like I've shot this action, and I've got it chambered in a 22 dasher, and you'll see kind of some match shooting and some groups and whatnot that I've produced with that, and it's just a tack driver, and a lot of that goes to the action, and a lot of that goes to the barrel and the gunsmith. But as far as the bayonet style, I don't know why you really need one if you're not swapping, if you're not trying to do a bunch of stuff and tinker, right? This is very purpose built. It's made to be a PRS action. It's not made to be a tinker or like change barrels and calibers a ton. Now, that being said, I do know that you can purchase additional bolts. And so, for example, I could get a Magnum bolt face and turn this into a 6.5 PRC. And it would be the whole bolt assembly. It's not just the bolt head. This is all machined from a single piece of billet steel. And the way they attach this bolt handle is there's a thread in here, and then that thread threads into this piece here. I'm going to see if I can get this off real quick. If not, let me get another. So here's a bolt from another action that I have. We'll get this. This will show you a little bit easier. So bolt handle's removable. You can replace it. I don't know. There's probably some aftermarket bolt handles that you can get. I don't know off the top of my head what they would be, but they do have a couple options as well. But as you can see, this part is machined, and then they've threaded it, and then they've got this screw is essentially a set screw. So like there's an Allen key in there. It doesn't move. They've got it in there. I don't know if they've put something in there or just it's torqued down. But that's how you attach the bolt handle. So this is all one piece, and then obviously the bolt shroud is a separate piece. And so what that means is, like I said, this isn't for like quick change, multiple caliber, all that kind of stuff. You can do it, but you need a different bolt, like the whole bolt assembly. And so I don't know exactly the price. You'd have to contact them for a new bolt. And as you can see, this is from the other action. This slides right in. And if I had my barrel on here, it would headspace and everything. So you can interchange bolts. What a lot of guys do, it seems to be kind of popular, is they will get a spare bolt, right? So then you can carry a spare bolt with you in the event that you need to, if you have some sort of issue, you just put a whole new bolt in. There's not really a whole lot to say about this action besides the fact, guys, that it just works. It's beautiful. It's about as perfect as you can get for a PRS style action. It doesn't have a bunch of fancy stuff like some other brands. It's just rock solid, works, no tinkering, no fiddling, and it's going to give you the maximum potential out of your system for accuracy. And yeah, so go ahead, head on over to lonepeakarms.com, check them out, and we'll talk to you next time. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it gave you some good information and helped you on your decision when you're picking your next action for shooting PRS. This is part one. Part two is going to be comparing now not one, not two, but three different fusions, different configurations that you can do, comparing the standard full rail competition action to their hunting counterparts. So stick around for that, coming up soon. Thanks for shooting the BC.